I am making another YouTube video today with my husband for the first time, and I wanted to share a story about how we met, dated, and got married in just over a year. I wanted to introduce him to all of you, as well as just share a story of how God has worked through our lives and brought us together, like in so many ways. It was amazing that we even met, honestly.
Well, hi, I am Jeremiah. Kalli's husband now. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah, we're still getting used to it. It's only been like 3 weeks, so.
Yeah, it's been a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so how we actually met was, my roommate was his best friend's girlfriend, and Jeremiah lives quite like far away from my college, and my roommate's boyfriend was like, "Hey Kalli, like my best friend is visiting for the weekend. He's super nice, he's Christian, he's also looking for a girl." And he was like, "Would you want to meet him and do just go out to Grizzlies and out to eat and maybe hike and get to know him and stuff?" So basically they set us up on a blind date, and I was super like chill but also nervous about it. I was like, whatever, I have nothing to lose. This guy seems nice. I was in college my freshman year, and I felt ready for relationships, so I was like, yeah, and I felt like God kind of just gave me this little feeling that it was going to be right, even though it is scary, like, going into a blind date and not knowing what you look like, well, I guess I got one picture, that was funny, what his personality was, what he'd think of me, so that was my take on it, but you were nervous, right?
Yeah, that same friend that talked to her was like, "Hey, my girlfriend has a pretty sick roommate, and you guys could talk." And I was like, "Okay." And then he asked me like 3 times to send a picture, and I kept sending really funny pictures, and she never got any of them. I was nervous about the blind date too. I didn't know how I was gonna go. I'd never done a blind date before. I'd only done high school dating, and high school dating sucks. High school dating is terrible.
Nobody knows what they're doing in high school.
Ugh.
Yeah, so long story short, our blind date, it went well, obviously, because we're married and we're here, yeah, but he arrived, and I like walked down to his friend's room, and I was so nervous, and I like changed my outfit like 3 times, and finally got there.
I did that too.
Oh, perfect. And finally got there, and I saw him, and it was just this like moment where we both were like, we didn't really want to look at each other, and
we wanted to look.
Yeah, but by the end of the day, we went hiking, went to a restaurant, Grizzlies, and I started to like you, because for one thing, I was like on this special like diet for my health reasons and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I can only eat certain things. And he was like, oh, like let's make sure we get to a restaurant that has like food you can eat. And I was like, oh my gosh, he cares. And then you laughed at one of my jokes, and that made me really happy.
And my family has had some health things too, so I was very used to it. So.
Yeah, very understanding of that, which I appreciated. And so it was going well. But then at the restaurant, we ate, and it was good, and the bill came. And I was kind of like, like if he likes me, he'll pay for the bill. And that was just kind of like, I guess, a rule I set in my mind. Like that's what I've always seen in movies and everything. And so the bill comes, and the lady is like, so how do you want to pay for this, whatever? And I was like, kind of like wait for him, and he didn't do anything. So I was just like, I can pay for it.
And well, we paid for each like our own separately.
Yes.
But before, I had seen an article somewhere that was like, or like just a dialogue of some girls talking on the internet, and probably on Reddit, which is terrible advice. And they're like, I actually don't like it when the guy pays for the first meal, or something like that. I'd read that a bit, and that had stuck in my head for a while. And then when the time came, I was like, oh, she's so weird. In a good way.
Yeah.
She's probably like that, and probably thinks it's cool if I don't like
all independent and everything.
Yeah, because she was so independent.
Yeah.
So obviously, I read that wrong.
Well, and it wasn't only that. I was like, we both were intimidating to each other, so we both kind of like had walls up, and then we went back to the dorms, and I was expecting like at least I would ask for my number, like some way of like that we keep talking. That's my biggest regret. Obviously still worked out well, but we branched off on the path in different ways. And I was like, okay, bye, Jeremiah. And like, it was really nice meeting you, and like, have a good night. And he was like, it was nice meeting you too. And then just walked away.
I didn't ask for a number. I didn't ask for a Snapchat. I didn't walk her anywhere. I didn't do anything.
Oh yeah, I didn't walk
anything.
home alone. So I went home, and I was kind of sad because I was like, oh, we did all of that, and I liked him, but like, doesn't seem like he likes me back. But I got back to the dorm, and then Faith, my roommate, came back and was like, Kalli, that went so well. He likes you so much, and he was just talking so much about you. And I was like, what? And Jeremiah, before he left, because he had to drive 3.5 hours home after that date, because we were long distance. He told Asa, he was like, Asa, tell Faith to tell Kalli that I think she's really beautiful and really awesome. And then I got his Snapchat from Asa, and was like, hey, this is Kalli, it's really nice getting to know you. And the first thing you said was like, hey, I'm so sorry for not getting your number, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like it was like the dumbest thing I did that night, or something, something funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then we just hit it off.
Then we started sending books to each other.
Books as in, like, I was really, really, really intent on getting to know him. I feel like it's really important to be honest and upfront right up from the bat, and to know as much about each other, because information is really useful.
And this was a long distance thing, so
yes.
We
didn't
both of
want to
us,
get into it.
yeah, both of us knew that going into it.
Yeah.
And then, after the first date, we were still interested in each other.
Yeah.
And I know we both kind of were like, well, shoot, I thought it would have been easier, if it like just didn't work out. And then we, since it was long distance, but long distance didn't really seem to matter that much.
No, I was willing to do anything. But yeah, so we did a month of just getting to know each other. He visited another 2 times and FaceTimed each other, and we started dating and did long distance for like 5-6 months, I think, and then just talked to him, texting all the time. I literally feel like I spent like 45 minutes a day texting you. Yeah. With long distance.
At the very least, yeah. It was a lot.
Yeah. So then, 5 months long distance. COVID hit in March.
Yes.
And
well, technically in November, but it didn't hit us yet. So.
Yes. Yeah. True.
You're in the States.
The States.
Yeah.
But yeah, COVID hit America, the United States, in March, and that put a kind of a big blow on our relationship at first, because Minnesota put an order that said you can't travel from state to state other than like essential business, and so that means we couldn't visit each other, because I lived in Wisconsin, he lived in Minnesota. And I was like devastated, because I couldn't imagine like months on end of not seeing him and only doing long distance. And I like prayed about it and was like, God, I just don't feel like I have the grace for this. And we both were struggling, and just like to be in a pandemic separately did not sound fun to either of us. So yeah, I moved to Minnesota to live closer to his family. I feel like living there close to you bonded us so much.
It did.
Like, I think that's the reason we were able to get married at the time we did.
It's been a year and month. How long has it been?
Oh, that we've known each other?
Yeah.
We met October 19th. So it's been a year and 3 months.
And we haven't gone to a movie theater.
No.
And the times that we've gone out to eat, I could probably count on both my hands. We haven't done a lot of the things that we wanted to do.
But that made us creative. Like, we went on so many hikes and walks and watched movies with my family. In the fall, after I moved up to Minnesota, Eau Claire, my school, went back in person, which meant I had to move back home in order to school. And once again, I was like devastated, because I had to leave and we had to go long distance again. And we had gotten so used to seeing each other every day, and like the weeks leading up to long distance again, we were just dreading it. But we survived and did every other weekend again, which is fine, and kind of just had a normal life and grew closer. And then in November, when COVID is always hitting us, it seems like, but there was kind of another wave of COVID. Minnesota did another order where households couldn't visit other households, which meant that like his family couldn't even visit his grandparents technically, and which definitely meant that I couldn't visit him at all from Wisconsin. For like a month was the rule, and then they ended up extending it for a lot longer. So I was under like a crossroads where I was like, okay, I can stay here, work, get a job, but I'm in online school. I don't really see anyone except my mom. Like it was kind of a lonely season.
Yeah.
Or I could sacrifice a lot to an extent and move up to Minnesota again, get a job. But then there was the whole thing about like where would I live in an apartment and stuff like that. So we decided to get married. And it like, when I say that, it wasn't just circumstances that caused us to get married. I felt like we were ready for a long time. In the end, it ended up we just had a 1 month engagement, which is very common, but it worked for us, and I think it taught me that everyone's story looks really different for your dating relationship, and some people date 10 years, some people date a year or even less. Throughout all of this, I feel like God has brought us together in so many ways and provided, and
we tried to keep him at the center of everything that we did.
But yeah, I think that's all we have for today. I just wanted to share our story on YouTube real quick before we make more videos. We want to make a lot of videos about dating, about relationships, about marriage, because we've learned a lot. But I think an important thing is to just show up where you are, and it's okay to be vulnerable and to be yourself. And I feel like that's what Jeremiah and I were with each other. On our first date, he told me his biggest weaknesses and was like, I want to be upfront about this because I want you to know me before we even get into a relationship. And I really respected that because most guys, and even myself, I always try to impress the other person. I'm like, oh, look at all my strengths and look at all the things I'm good at. But after a while, like, you get to the point where you wear sweats around them and you're comfortable with them, and why not be that right away where you can be vulnerable. Yeah, that's all we have for you today, but thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions for us or any videos you want us to do, please leave those in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!